What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Monday. It's your boy, Coach Jesse here, and I just had to pop in here. Day one of the ER Shred, of the New Year Shred. I hope you're all fired up. I hope you're motivated. I hope you set intentions over the weekend of exactly what it is that you wanted to accomplish at the end of the next 11 days. Because, baby, the rocket ship is ready. The gas is in there. All we got to do is smash the button and launch into the stratosphere. That's my hope for you. That's what I hope you accomplish. I hope you all have an amazing journey. Do me a favor as you jump in real quick. Say hi. Let me know where you're coming in from. Do play along during this quick live because I want to share some stuff with you really quick. I appreciate it's Monday morning. I appreciate I'm bringing a lot of energy. This is me. This is how I go. I told you I'm an early guy, so I'm up. I've been up for 2.5 hours, actually more than that right now. And I just want to make sure that I help you set yourself up for the best success. And when I look at my life and I think back and I'm like, man, Jesse, you've had some big, fat, audacious dreams. You've had some things that you've wanted in life since you were 20 years old. You've had some aspirations, right? And I'm sure you can all relate to this. If you see me cover my hands, I am freezing this morning. It's so cold right now. But anyways, I think back in my life and I'm like, why haven't I accomplished those things? Why have I not gotten where I wanted to get to? Why are the things that I know that I want, desire, dream of, aspire to have, be, do in life? Why are they not there yet? And what it comes down to is goals. And I want to share with you some amazing research that I've just learned. And this is not your mama's goals. This is not the thing that you've all heard before, like, oh, we have to set SMART goals. This is stuff that's going to shift your perspective. And this is stuff that if you implement, I guarantee you it will change your life. At least I know it did for me, which is why I want to share it with you. This is not just setting SMART goals. Yes, that's important, but there's so much more to it that we now know through years and years of research, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. This, success leaves clues, as they say. So I learned to get out of my own way and follow this. And I'm telling you, it will radically shift things. So I hope that you play along. Okay. Goals are extremely important. But the problem is setting SMART goals where they're specific, measurable, attainable, time frame, realistic. Do you know how many times I have set those kind of goals and I've never followed through? I've never followed through. I'm just going to be really real with you, really transparent. And I hope that you show up being real for yourself, because the more real that you can be, the better this is going to be. But, it's like, okay, Jesse, like goals, like, oh, goals, like everybody talks about goals, right? We got to set goals. We got to do this. We got to have this. Why is this important? Why? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Why is this important? It's important because goals make you happier. Goals can suppress negative emotions. Goals give you a sense of purpose, meaning, being up to something. Goals are so important. Life is harder when we don't have goals. You are going to set yourself up for a harder life if you don't have goals. It also matters how you set them. It's actually really important, really freaking important that you set them the proper way. And it's not just the SMART theory that we've learned through research that I'm going to share with you, okay? So this is actually research that's out of the University of Oregon, very recent research, and it shows that goals are broken down into two components. And there's actually 5 big mistakes that people make when setting goals. Why do I feel that this is important to share with you on this Monday, on the beginning of a brand new ER Shred? I feel it's important because I'm so sad when I see people come into the shred, do the 11 days, and then all of a sudden they fall off. And they come back months later and they say, oh my God, I fell off. Like, it's time to shred again. And part of me wants to be like, yes, like, I'm so excited for you. I know this will change your life. But why the hell did you fall off? Why did you do something so good for yourself and then self-sabotage yourself to fall off the wagon, fall off the cliff, jump into the deep end. We know all those expressions, right? We've heard them before. Why do we do that? And when I think back to my life and I'm like, man, why did I have so much success? Why did I build a business and, get to six-figure residual income and then all of a sudden, set myself up for success? And it's because when I look at the goals that I had, they only got me so far. And when I've through my coaching and through health coaching and life coaching and helping people, helping myself and then helping people, I've come to see over time how this actually happens for people. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that we're not setting goals the proper way. So this is research from Dr. Elliot Berkman out of the University of Oregon. And Dr. Berkman is the co-director at the Center of Translational Neuroscience. He's got a lot. Hold on a second. He studies motivational and cognitive factors that attribute to success or failure at achieving goals. So I don't know about you, but this is freaking cool. Like, this guy has dedicated his entire life to do this work for me. And I'm in a position in my life where I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not going to argue with this stuff. Like, this is rooted. This is proven. This is studied. Like, I'm done fighting myself. And if you're ready to make a change in your life and you want to move the needle in the right direction, I would highly recommend that you stop fighting yourself as well. Let Dr. Berkman share the light for you. So this is the doc's definition of a goal. Any desired outcome that wouldn't otherwise happen without you doing something. Any desired outcome that wouldn't otherwise happen without you doing something. So an example of that would be, this year is the year that I'm finally going to get healthy. This is the year that I'm going to get abs. This is the year that I'm going to get out of debt. That is a goal that would require you to do some work. You have to do some work in order to get that. What is not a goal is, I'm going to watch that TV series on Netflix. I'm going to binge watch this. That really doesn't take much effort for you to do. I mean, you're going to go, you're going to plop on the couch, you're going to sit there, like a lot of us do that anyways. Like, that doesn't take anything. So that's not a goal. So I want you to, for a second, to think about an area in your life right now that you want to improve. And obviously, we're all starting the shred. We're all here for a reason. I'm going to assume that a lot of you are here because you want better health. You deserve better health. You know that you need to do something. You want more muscle. You want to lose weight. You want to get healthier. You want to learn better foods. You want to learn your food blueprint. You want to learn the ancestral ways. You want to tap into, I don't know, whatever it may be for you. But think about that, right? And think about 3 areas in your life when you show up. If you really want to make this next 11 days a slam dunk, if you want to make this a lifestyle, if you want to keep going past the initial framework, which is what I like to call the 11 days, the tracks to get you back on track. It's like taking your train that's derailed, putting it back on the tracks, setting you up in the right direction, and then giving you the steam, giving you the power to then shift your life and create it. So think about those 3 things, right? What are they for you? And they can be very basic right now. They don't have to be crazy. I'm going to show you how to make them a little bit more defined and what was missing. So I want to sleep better. I want to lose weight. I want to get my cravings under control. I want to improve my blood work. I want to, whatever it may be for you, think about those 3 areas right now. Please do this with me. It's really, really important. Or come back to this when you have time and make sure that you do this. It's really important because I want nothing more than to see you all succeed. I want nothing more than to celebrate you, not just at the end of 11 days, but I want to be celebrating you like a Mimi Terrell 2.5 years later. I want to be celebrating you like a Kathy Martinez, that you just keep smashing it and coming up with new levels and bashing new barriers. I want to celebrate you like all these other people that have been around here forever. You deserve that. You deserve that in your life, and this is going to help you, right? So I know for me, there's plenty of things that I want to do right now. I'm at a different point. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years, so my goals might be different than obviously some of yours. But think about those 3 areas in your life. And, there's also this thing where it's like, if I appreciate that sometimes it's hard to think about this stuff. I appreciate that sometimes it's like, like, I can't set goals, Jesse, because I don't even freaking know what my goals are. Like, It's okay. Raise your hand. Post it, right? Like, yeah, that's me. Like, everybody says set goals. Everybody says I need them for my life. Okay, goals make me happier. Goals suppress depression. Goals suppress fear. Okay, that's all great. But what happens if I don't know what my goals are? What happens if I really can't define it? Like when people say, like, let's get down and dirty and let's really hash this out. I struggle doing that. I don't know about you, but I struggled for so long doing that. And here's a couple tips that can help you, a couple hacks, if you will, if you don't know. So the first one is that I learned is make sure that your goals are aligned to your dreams. There's so many times that we're setting goals based on other factors, but we're not setting them because of our dreams. So what are your dreams? What are your big, fat, juicy, audacious dreams? Like my big dream is I need to lose 100 pounds, or I want to lose 100 pounds. My dream is I want to have energy to go to work and come home and still be able to play with my kids, or I want to be able to be a better grandparent, right? Like, what are some of the areas that are in your life that you want to do? Really, really think about that, okay? If we can't take the time to even think about ourselves and think about our goals and think about our dreams, we can't then expect amazing things to happen. It just doesn't work like that, my friends. So let's get really real. Let's make some progress here together and take the time to do this, right? So if they make sure they're aligned, if you can't think bigger. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive. You're like, Jesse, I can't even think of a goal. What, you want me to think bigger? Yes. And here's why. When you can think of the big, fat, juicy dream that it is that you want for your life. I know for me, like, it's, everybody says, I want financial freedom. Well, why do you want financial freedom? I want financial freedom because I want to be freaking free. And what do I mean by free? Like, I run my own business. I can take my own vacations. I can do all that now, but I'm not free. I'm not free because I still have to show up somewhere. I still have to do a job. That is not freedom to me. Freedom is when I go away for a weekend, if I want an extra day, I'm going to take it and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Freedom to me is that when my little guy starts playing sports, I can be there every single day, every single practice, because I miss so much of that with my daughter. That is freedom to me. I have emotion behind that. I am thinking bigger in the long term of what I want down the road, because once I have that fat dream, once you have that fat dream, we can now take the framework, the research, all the stuff that I'm going to share with you, and we can break it down backwards. Does that make sense? Is this resonating with any of you? Like, interact, drop into the comments, let me know, because it's really important that we do this. I will, again, want to see you not just beat the next 11 days. I want to see you crush it. I want to see you crush life. We all deserve that. We deserve to do that. I'm going to do it. I hope you join me. I hope you do, because I believe you deserve that as well. So think bigger, because once we have that, we can turn it around. We can then set the goals from that. And from those goals, we can set action plans. So just think backwards. So I can't think of goals. Okay, think bigger. What do you really want? Go for a walk, meditate, get out in nature, whatever it is. Give yourself that time. You deserve that, my friend. The second tip that you can do is if you can't think of a goal, this one's going to sound a little bit morbid, but it's the reality, because research shows that when you prompt this, you actually get more in touch with your inner self. So if you can't think of any goals that you want and you're thinking big, you're thinking of the dream, I want you to think of the end. Not the end of your goal, the end of your life. I know, death, right? We're all going to die. It's inevitable. So think about your death and think about, but when I die, what is it that I want to have achieved? What do I want to be known for? What is the legacy that I want to create? Right? I want to be known as the guy who helped people go from where they were to where they want to be. I want to help people go from feeling like they just don't have a purpose in life. I was literally there before, where I wanted to end my life a few different times, down and out in the mud, suffocating. And now I'm moving forward to thriving. Now I'm moving my life. My needle's there. I'm excited. It doesn't mean it's perfect. It's not perfect in any way. There is no perfection, but I feel excited. I feel like we're moving. And there's still struggles. There's rebounds. There's everything. So all that's there, right? But I want to be that person. I want to be the bridge. I want to be the foundation. That's what I want to do. So what is it that you want to do? What do you want to be remembered for when you die? And when you think about that, now I go, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I have a little bit more clearer vision. I know what I want to do at the end. Now let's go backwards. Let's break it down. Let's set little things for myself, okay? It's really important. Third tip that you can do is slow down. If you're not sure what your goals are, slow down for a minute and just get some quiet space, right? Mindful people are more in touch. So I want you to think about, like, I know my friend Kathy Martinez, she's a rock star. She's the sunshine, right? Like she is her, right? She went for this thing called a 12-hour walk. And I can relate to this because I have spent hours and hours and hours by myself in the middle of the woods while I do my ultra marathons. You have a lot of time to get in touch with yourself. It's actually, I think, one of the reasons why most people fail and actually don't succeed and get to the finish line is because you have so much time with your own thoughts. And that is scary shit for a lot of people. That is scary shit for a lot of people. You start to think, you realize that your brain comes up with so many different things that actually aren't even true. Your brain comes up with so much stuff that's not true. And at the end of quiet time, whether that's meditation, going for a walk, whatever, think about a time that you've had by yourself. Maybe it's been on the beach. Maybe it's been sitting in your home. Maybe it's been driving on a long car trip, whatever it may be. Think about that when you've had quiet space and think about what that's done in your brain. And then also think about how at the end of that, you've probably worked your shit out. Like you've probably figured it out. It's scary at first. You're not sure why it's there. Then you come back onto it. You have all this time, right? So slow down if you're not sure where you're going, not sure what your goals are, and give yourself that space, okay? Research, once again, shows that goals that you're more in touch with stick better. So if we're really in touch with that goal, the chances of us succeeding are going to radically multiply themselves. So if we know that, why would we not do that? If we know that, why would we not do that? Goals that are more personable to you are actually called self-concordant goals. This is literally in the research, right? And you can go to the University of Oregon. You can pick up this research. I can share it with you, whatever the case may be, if you want to dive in. Or you can let me do that work for you and just follow along. You could do that too and make your life easy. But these goals are actually called self-concordant goals. These are the want-to goals. So what are the things that you really want to do? Okay, not the goals that you feel pressured to do. And that's an important point, because why are you here? Why are you really here? We're going to break this down in a few minutes, but why are you here? Are you here because everybody else is getting healthy? Are you here because at the beginning of a new year, that's what everybody does? Are you here because somebody else is pressuring you? Why are you here? It's really, really important, okay? So those goals don't work because you have no vested interest. If you're doing something because somebody else says you should do it, you have no vested interest in that goal. You have no oomph behind that goal. So of course you're not going to succeed. Of course you're setting yourself up for failure. It just doesn't make any sense. So don't forget the definition of a goal, my friend. You're going to have to do something. So when you're setting these goals, really ask yourself, am I willing to do that work? You know, Jesse, I say to somebody, what do you want to do? They say, I want to build more muscle and I want to lose fat. And I go, okay, great. Do you understand the work that's involved in that? Are you willing to show up every day? Are you willing to say no in social situations when everybody else is saying yes? Are you willing to make some sacrifices? I want six-pack abs. I'm like, okay, great. Are you really willing to do the work that it's going to take to do that? Because you know damn well that it's going to take a lot of work. You know you're going to have to be diligent about, what you're putting in your mouth. You're going to have to make sure that there's no excuses. You're going to have to make sure that you're showing up no matter what to get your workouts in. You're going to have to do some extra studying. You're going to have to put some timing behind that. So when you're thinking about this, like really think about, do you have a vested interest and are you willing to do the work? Don't forget the definition of goal, right? You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something. So make sure that these aren't unicorn goals. Make sure that they're reality. Make sure that you're personally invested in what it is that you're setting for yourself. It's really, really important. Okay. So this is actually a really weird hack that I learned, but it works because it gets you more in touch. So I want you to do it with me. I would highly recommend you don't do this in public because you might get people to call the crazy hospital on you. But when you talk about your goals, I want you to try to talk about them in third person. I know it sounds really, really weird, right? So Jesse would love to show up this year as a better spouse. Jesse would love to do the things to show his spouse that he really does care. Jesse would love to, I know it sounds really weird, but I want you to do it. Go ahead, do it with me. Say it out loud right now. Jesse would love to, Kathy, whoever's watching, literally talk to yourself. And when you start to do this, talk out loud, you're going to feel, it's okay if it's general. Jesse would love to show up every day more consistently for his workouts. Jesse would love to be able to sleep a little bit better. Jesse would love to control his cravings and not be such a victim to sugar. Do that. And it's okay if it's general because we're going to refine those. Okay. But check this out. It just brings a different vibe, right? Like if you tried it with me, doesn't it just kind of like put you more in tune with like what it is? Like now I go, okay, this guy, Jesse, he would really love to do this. So you're talking, talk about it like you were talking about a friend, but you're talking to yourself. Do this in your journal, do this in your plan, do this in whatever it is you're going to do. Again, I know it sounds weird, but don't worry about the weird. Stop getting in your own way. This is proven research. And that's the point in my life that I had to come to. I was like, okay, I'm not getting where I want to get to. I'm not accomplishing what I want to accomplish. So I have to stop fighting. I have to stop fighting the trajectory. I have to stop fighting the path. Like I have to get out of my own way. And some of you just got to get out of your own way. Try these different things. I'm telling you, it's a game changer, okay? So here's the deal. Research out of the University of Oregon says that goals are broken down into two things, and if these are not present, you will do absolutely shit. If these are not present, you will do nothing. It's called the will and the way. And the will of a goal is the motivational and emotional aspects of behavior change. So this is the will. The will is basically the why. Are we doing this? Okay. So why is this behavior change important to you? Why change? Why now? So I want you to think about what are one of the goals that you just set? What are some of the things that you just talked about? So I want to lose weight. Let's just use an example, right? There's so many people that are here because you saw a friend, lose some weight. You saw a friend get healthy. Like you want to lose some weight. You want to control your cravings. Okay. Why is that important to you? It's important for me to lose weight because Jesse will feel so much better every single day he wakes up. Jesse will show up with more confidence. Jesse will love himself better. Jesse will feel better in social situations. Jesse will feel more confident in having conversations. Jesse will feel, right? Start to do that. It's really, really important. So why is that important to you? And then why change? Well, I want to change because if Jesse shows up to be a more confident person, well, that's going to affect every aspect of his life. That's going to give him more courage to go after his dreams, goals, and ambitions. If Jesse shows up and changes now, it's important because by doing that, it's going to impact the lives of other people. Okay, why now? So why is change important to you? Why create it? And why now? So now is the time that I'm going to lose weight. Why? Why is that important to you? Why are you doing that right now? What is the reason? It's really, really important that you understand this. So that's the will. And the second part is the way. And the way refers to the cognitive and informational aspects of behavior change. So the way is basically how we change. So ask yourself these questions then. How is this behavior change going to unfold? Really get, understand like what's going to have to happen. Okay, so if Jesse wants to show up to be a better spouse and he knows that there's certain things like, what has to happen? Well, I know that every day I have to remind myself to leave a little note. Okay, great. I'm going to set an alarm on my phone. Okay, great. That's good, right? What skills and capacities does that involve? So I'm really kind of fine tuning now to make sure, right? Isn't this different? Don't you think this is different than just setting like, okay, here's a goal, here's this, here's the time. Like, yeah, all that's important. That's all part of goal setting. But if we're not getting crystal clear on what's going on, it's not really going to come together for us. So what skills and capacities does it involve? And what is the specific plan for doing it? So what is the specific plan? Are you going to, listen to a podcast every day? Are you going to tap into this group every day? Are you going to journal every day? Are you going to prep your food? Are you going to make sure that you're set up for success? Like, what is the specific plan of how you're doing that? So any goal requires the why and the how. The why and the how. And this is why it's so freaking important. Neuroscience has revealed that your brain system involved in two sides of behavior change is totally freaking different. So the will and the why is two different parts of your brain. And if we don't have both of those working and both of those firing, this is not going to work for us. Okay. So an example of this is, the how to make this a reality or the how that we make this a reality is the brain functions involved in executive function. So how we're going to do this, the will and how we're going to do this is involved in the executive functions of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex. So when we're setting it and we're like, okay, this is the will, right? This is what's going on. This is the motivational behavior change, the why I'm doing this goal. And then the way is how we're going to change, right? That's really important. So let me just find where I was here real quick. Okay. So that's going to, the reality side of it, like I said, is the executive function. The why part of it is the dopamine hit. The why part of it's the dopamine hit, the dopamine reward system in the brain. And you need both. You need both of these to tackle the how, the plan, the push. You also have to have the why. So it's so important to have both of those, right? When I learned that and I was like, holy shit, I was setting goals wrong the entire time. So now when I reframe and I look at that and I start to write goals out this way, it just makes things so much better, right? The why comes into play when you know what to do, but you can't do it. And this is how you hack motivation, right? Why comes into play when you know what you want to do, but you can't do it. I know I want to lose weight. I know I want to get healthier. I know I want to get out of debt, but no matter what I do, I just can't do it. So here's the deal, my friends. Studies show that this is freaking hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that behavior change and life change is easy, because it's freaking not. But think about it. Why would you want to do this? Like, why would you want to do this when you can? Why would you want to lose weight? Why would you want to track your food? Why would you want to get healthier when you could just sit on the couch and watch Netflix? It's really important to think about that. And if you don't have that why in place, it's just going to be easy to watch Netflix. It's just going to be easy to sit on the couch. Exactly why you can't just have the why without a plan. So just as you can't have the plan and have no reason for the why you want to get it done. You can't just say, I want to do this. Why do you want to do that? It's really, really, really important that you do that. If you just keep making goals but consistently never accomplish them, your goals are not linked to your core belief. And as soon as you make them possible, watch out. As soon as you put these two together, as soon as you link the why, the how, the what, and you really get specific, watch the F out. Like, you're going to accomplish crazy things. And if you're at this point and you feel like your goals, you wrote down, you're evolving, you're changing a bit, good. Like, if you started to do this with me from the beginning and you started to go through this process and think about things with me, and you now feel that based off the research and based off the things that's going on, if you feel that they're changing and evolving, that's exactly where you should be. They don't have to be the same. You don't have to get them right all the time. They can be evolving. They can be changing. They can be doing all of that kind of stuff. That's what it's supposed to do, okay? So real quick, 5 mistakes, and we're going to wrap this up. 5 mistakes that are grounded in research about goals. Number 1 mistake that people make is they only focus on the how and completely forget about the why. How I was going to make more money, but why did I need it? Why do I want that, right? I thought about how I was going to do it, but why do I really want more money? Well, I want more money because I told you one of my things is freedom. I want more money because I feel the need to serve and I want to be able to give to charities. I want to make what I like to call FU money, because when I see something that pulls at my heartstrings, I want to write a check for $50,000 to a charity that I believe in. Like, how freaking cool would that be? So now I know, like, okay, how am I going to do it? Well, I need to do a plan. I need to build a team. I need to teach other people. I need to develop leaders. I need to support those leaders. I need to help other people in their life. But why do I want to do that? Why is really, really important. Why is really important, right? So if you just feel pressured to do a goal, then there's like this inner rebel that's going to come up that's going to fight you. So it's crucial to make sure that you really get this, right? This is something, this is about something that you're committed to out of pressure. Like, think about that. Like, when did you try to do something that you're committed to? Like, oh, I'm going to get healthy because everybody else is doing it. Oh, I'm going to stop drinking because everybody else is doing it. Oh, I'm going to do this because whatever. Like, think about that and then really think about how long it lasted. It doesn't last, right? Like, I can think back to goals that I did out of, not because I wanted it, not because they were aligned with me, and it just doesn't last. So taking in that research, really ask yourself, what is your why? What is your why? Why are you here? Why did you show up? Why do you want to get better? Why do you want to get healthier? Why do you want to crush cravings? What is that going to do for your life? Get a little bit more specific, okay? Mistake number 2, and you got to stop doing this, is we are setting way too many goals at the same time. You want to get healthy. You want to improve your relationship. You want to get out of debt. You want to, visit 5 different states. You want to do all of that in the same month. We are setting way too many goals to actually make them realistic. And, if you're in a dire state right now and you're where life is just kicking your ass and it's kicking you down, please, please, please try to pick just one freaking goal. One goal that you can focus on, one goal that you can define, one goal that you can get better at. Face it and make that situation better. And then once you accomplish that, you build confidence. And that confidence then leads to the next step. And then that next step, it's like a loop. It just keeps carrying through. But stop setting so many goals at the same time. Stop it. Please stop it right now. I used to try to set so many goals, and all it did was confuse the living shit out of me. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This is going to improve your life and make you feel better. So 1 to 3 goals at a time is the max that research shows that you could do. Mistake number 3, based on research, when we define goals, we're missing what's called the sweet spot. You got it. There's actually a sweet spot. Think of it as Mel Robbins posted as like the Goldilocks. Think of it as the Goldilocks syndrome. Like, this porridge is too hot. This porridge is too cold. This porridge in the middle is just right. That's the sweet spot of goals. And research has actually shown that there is a sweet spot, right? That's called the dream. When people go too big, that's called the dream. So we need to narrow that down, and we need to figure out, okay, remember that dreams have no timeline. They're aspirational. Goals are the opposite. Goals must be specific and on a timeline and definable. So dreams and goals are very, very different, right? Goals got to be specific. They got to be attainable. They got to be definable. You got to be able to track them. You got to be able to see the movement. You got to be able to move through. Okay. So if we're just setting big, fat dreams and we're trying to accomplish all of this stuff, like that's great. You need that in life. But remember from the beginning, set that dream, and then we're going to break it down. And this is the breaking down process. And one of those big mistakes that people make is that. This comes from research out of Florida State University, also grounded in research from the famous habit research of B.J. Fogg at Stanford University. Goals got to be something that you can achieve. Goals have to be achievable. Right? So it's really important that we understand that. So I know that I could write a note for one day, easy. I've done that before, right? I'm going to give you an example. So one of my goals, being a better spouse, I know that part of that is making her feel more loved, more connected to, that I care. And one of those things that I know that I could do is write a simple note every single day. So an example of that is I know that I could write a note for one day. That's not a goal. That's too easy. Right? That's too easy for me to do it for one day. So that's not my sweet spot. My sweet spot is achievable, but it's got to be ambitious, right? So you're going to be more motivated and more satisfied if you can set something in that sweet spot. Not something that's too easy, not something that's too hard, but something that's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to be, it's going to be achievable, but you got to be able to do it. They consider that in the research to be the sweet spot. Okay. So, and this is research out of UC Riverside that actually proves that the sweet spot is really the main foundational place that we need to be when we're setting those goals. So how do we get to this sweet spot? Well, I can say that for the next 90 days, I will write a short note to the wifey. That's a challenge, not a year. Because if I said a year, that seems like it's too much, right? Like that's too hot. That's too hot of porridge. If I say that I can do it for a day, that's too cold. But for the next 90 days, I can make sure that I write a note. So for the next 11 days, what can you do? For the next 30 days, what can you do? For the next 60 days, what can you do? What's going to be a little bit of work, but it's not so far out of reach that you can't achieve it. Because if that's the case, you're not going to stick to it. It's just not going to happen, right? And, okay, so how can we apply this to your health journey, right? Think about how you can set this up for yourself. How are you going to crush these things that just seem so out of reach for some of you, right? What can you do? How can you set yourself up? What is it that you can do? Okay, mistake number 4. Having goals that are way too general. Dreams can be general, but goals must be specific. So I'm going to lose 30 pounds in the next 60 days by setting myself up for success every single day. I'm going to set alarms in my phone to remind me to work out. I'm going to set alarms in my phone to remind me to get my protein. I'm like, be specific. Really think about that. So that's where the smart stuff comes into play. But if we don't have the two components, obviously, that we're missing, that's going to hold us back. Okay. So when do you know that you'll succeed? So you set a goal, you come into this 11 days. Okay. I want to crush my cravings. I want to get healthier. I want to whatever. Okay, great. What is the measurable thing that has to happen in life that that's going to show you that you achieve that goal? It's really, really important. So mistake number 4 is having goals that are way too general. Okay. So we can't have goals that are too general. Remember, that's the bigger picture. Goals have to be really specific. They have to be something that we can track. They have to be something that we can look back to and say, okay, I set that and now here I am. Did I accomplish that? If I didn't, okay, great. Where did I fall? What do I need to do? And then boom, you reset that goal, right? That's how you do it. And mistake number 5, this one's actually really, really cool. This was such a freeing thing for me because yes, they have to be specific. Yes, they have to do that. But check this out. This is research out of Florida State University, and it's called high-low range goals. And this is just freaking awesome. So it is actually easier for you to lose 2 to 4 pounds than it is for you to lose 3 pounds. And you're like, well, wait a minute. You just said be specific. I know, but check this out. Research shows that it is easier for you to lose 2 to 4 pounds than it is for you to lose 3 pounds. So how does that show up for me? Okay, well, I know that I'm going to set a goal to write a note for the next 90 days. And I know that I want to do that because it's going to create less friction. It's going to show her that I care. It's going to show her that I want to show up. It's going to show her that I'm invested. It's going to do all of those things. But 90 days, man, and then what happens if I set that goal for 90 days? And what happens if I miss a day? What do you do if you miss a day and you set a goal? Well, we start to beat the shit out of ourselves. And we're like, oh, there you go again. You didn't do it. I knew you couldn't do it. And then we start this negative, threatful self-talk. And then we get in our own head. And then before you know it, 2 months have gone by. And then we're even more miserable than we were. Well, that's not going to freaking work. That's not going to work. So research shows that we can set high-low range goals. And what I want to do then is I'm going to, okay, so out of the next 90 days, 75 of those days, I'm going to write a little note. So 75 out of 90 days, that's my range, high-low. 75 out of 90 days, I'm going to commit to writing that note so I can make sure that all the other stuff comes true that I've already shared with you. This little range difference makes such a difference. So let's give you an example. If I know that I want to lose 80 pounds, okay, I'm going to lose 60 to 80 pounds in the next 8 months. I'm going to lose 60 to 80 pounds in the next 8 months. Doesn't that just feel a little bit better? It's like it takes a little bit of the pressure off. And again, what you'll start to realize is that when you do this and when you start to take the pressure, it's like a little hack that you can use. Because when you take the pressure off yourself, you give yourself a little bit more freedom. You're not giving yourself the slack to destroy yourself. You're giving yourself a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more freedom. And then what's going to happen is, I know what happened for me is when you start to accomplish that. And if you miss a day, you start to realize like, okay, well, that's part of my goal. Like I know that I did that. But as you start to continue accomplishing and accomplishing and accomplishing, you're going to realize that you do more and more and more and more and more. So it's a trick for yourself. Okay, friends. That's enough, right? If you want more, if you want to be clearer on this, you can go to a couple different things. You can go to the Mel Robbins podcast, and she did a whole thing on goals and habits and everything else. You can go to melrobbins.com/goals and get an entire worksheet for free on everything that we just went over and start to implement this for yourself. Go back, read back through this, take notes. I literally listened to that like 5 different times already, no joke, because when I hear something like that, I need it to sink in. I need to write notes. I need to talk about it. I need to teach it. I need to share it. I need it to really set in. So don't just think that we can just listen to something like this and go, oh, I got it now. Like, yes, you got the information, but now it's time to do the work. And why was this so important again? It's so important on day one because if we don't set proper goals, if you don't set yourself up for success, you're just going to set yourself up to fail. And that is the last thing that I want to see you guys do. I'm cheering for you. I am rooting for you. Let's freaking go. Day one, set the intentions, set the goals, be specific, use the research to benefit your life. I can't wait to celebrate you all real soon. Bye-bye.